Hello everyone, Brian here, and today I've got a game of Domination for you on Hotel. A couple quick things I'm going to say about the gameplay before I get into the topic I wanted to discuss. You will definitely notice in this game I did not really play the objective. For the most part it was because I didn't need to. Most of the time when the came time to capture the B flag, I already had a couple teammates on it when I would have had the opportunity to move to it. And I spend a lot of time hanging out in my favorite place, which is the pool bar. Anytime I go on vacation, the pool bar is a must for any hotel that my wife and I decide to stay at, which the last one we took was our honeymoon, and we spent an awful lot of time hanging out by the pool bar there. And the other quick thing I will note is when you are selecting a kill streak loadout for this game, I do not recommend the chopper gunner whatsoever. I did have it on for this game. Why, I really don't know. But I did earn the chopper gunner, and because of everyone camping inside the buildings for the most part, I think I got all of like 3 kills with it. So it pretty much was a huge waste of time. I probably would have been better served going with a Blackbird or something else along those lines. Like I said, I don't recommend chopper gunner at all if you're going to be selecting that kill streak for this map. With that being said, I will now get into the topic that I was going to discuss. During my last video that I uploaded, a couple people had asked me to talk about, actually I think it was one person asked, and that was UpMyCream, asked me to talk about my thoughts and opinions on the current PlayStation Network outage. Ever since some of the PlayStation Network and PlayStation issues did first arise, the thought had occurred to me a time or two to do a commentary about it, but I had spoken to so many of you in the comments section of other videos, so I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. But now that someone has actually asked, I figured, what the hell, let me go ahead and put my thoughts and opinions out there about it. For those of you who don't know, for the most part, up until the release of Black Ops, I have been a solely PlayStation user, going back to the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, and then the PlayStation 3. Only up until the release of Black Ops, and a little bit beforehand, was I considering getting an Xbox. And honestly, if I wasn't making these videos, I probably never would have done so. But I did decide to do it because I wanted to, play with more of you my subscribers, as I know many more people had the Xbox. And my initial plans were to try to get games for both consoles, but funds restricting, I wasn't really able to do that. I just don't have the money to buy, Black Ops and every other game for both consoles, let alone finding the time to play and level up on both systems. So I kind of had to scrap that idea somewhat early on. Ever since I did get the Xbox, like I said, right before the release of Black Ops, every game I got for Christmas from my mother-in-law and from my wife has been for that console, and every game I've gotten since then has also been for the Xbox console. But even with that being said, I still did have a lot of plans to go back and play some Modern Warfare 2 and possibly even COD 4 with many of you, because I did a lot of booster hunting videos back in the day, and I met a lot of really cool people like PS3 House, Sticky Slayer, Booster Punisher, and a lot of other fellow booster hunters. And we used to do a lot of little private matches and silly things like you may have seen before, like the Riot Shield, shotguns only, quickscoping only, that kind of silly stuff. And I had an absolute blast. So I did want to get back and try to do that once in a while with those guys again. But around that same time, many of you had started telling me in the messages when I did bring up that idea early on that the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies were hacked to hell, and it was next to impossible to get a real game in there, and that many of you were having your stats reset, you were getting thrown into a 10th Prestige, and there's all kinds of crazy shit was going on. So I kind of put those plans on hold for a little while, and right when I had heard that they did the first initial patch and things were starting to look normal again, I did do a little preliminary day or two, a few hours here and there on Modern Warfare 2, and tested it out, and the lobbies I did get into were clean. But immediately after that is when their system got hacked, and now it's been down for what, 3 weeks or longer so far. And I know they have put out a couple tentative dates for when they were going to have it back online, but with them trying to rebuild the entire network and all their security, they keep pushing those dates back. And my initial thoughts when that first happened was to just go ahead and get rid of my PS3 and be done with it, because honestly at this point I really don't have any future plans to buy any more games for that system. But as I normally tell you guys in many of my videos, I normally take time to think things through. I normally don't make decisions based or say anything based on my initial reaction, because that's normally a little bit hasty and not very well thought out. So I decided I was just going to hold on to the PS3 because I already have it and it's really not costing me anything to keep it. And who knows, the day may come where I can afford to buy games for both consoles and play with more of you. So I decided to hold on to it. Like I said, I rethought my initial plans and reaction. But then it came to light the following week after the system first went down that all of our personal information and possibly even our credit card information was also compromised. And that really pissed me off in the simple fact that while Sony probably knew some of that information early on, it took them over a week to inform us through their blog, and it even took even longer than that for them to send us an official email letting us know that information and what steps we should take. So by that point, anyone that wanted to steal our identities or rack up any kind of debt or bills or clean out our bank accounts or anything else, they easily could have done it, and we would have had no preliminary warning of it or been able to take any action until it was too late. So with that being said, I think Sony really dropped the ball on that, and they pretty much lost any loyalty and trust that I have towards them going forward. And since then as well, I'm sure many of you have heard as well, that their Sony Gaming Network, or whatever the hell they call it, which they run EverQuest, DC Universe Online, and a couple other massively multiplayer online games, has also been hacked and compromised and now been taken offline. And I also did see a couple other recent videos on Guns for Hire's gun shop channel. One video he talked about there was a rumor going around, or threats, that people were going to be hacking Sony again. I think this time their corporate servers or something else. And also, I guess Sony had put out a notice that for the next 12 months they were going to be offering up to $1 million of free insurance for basically identity theft protection in light of what happened with their security intrusions. Now, I will definitely say that is a very incredible gesture on their part to put that kind of protection out there for us in light of what happened. But they really do have a long road ahead of them to rebuild all the trust that was lost with all of their loyal users, myself included. They're really going to have to show everyone that their network is going to be much more secure in the future, not only to protect us from these simple gaming outages, but most importantly, all of our personal and our financial information that we provide to them to play on their service. That is the most important thing that they have to protect and safeguard, because I've seen that absolutely destroy people financially when that information gets leaked and their identity gets stolen. So only time will tell if they can bridge that gap and rebuild that trust going forward. If you could, be so kind as to leave me a quick rating before you leave. And as always, guys, I hope you really did enjoy the video. I will talk to all of you soon, and I hope you have a good one.